Welcome to Push Pop number 6. I decided this week I'm not doing the hands anymore because, one hand's fine, but 6, 7, 8 is just going to get unwieldy. So we're not doing that anymore. This week was a somewhat productive week. So it was my last week of work for the year in my day job. So it was a bit of wrap up, but it was also a disrupted week. Monday, I flew to look at some venues for Laracon 2024, Laracon AE 2024. I looked at 4 venues on Monday, and out of those 4, I had 4 really, really nice venues, great seating, which is important when you're sitting for 2 days, and very flexible in terms of all the stuff that we can do. So I'm trying to look at venues that kind of allow us to do 100 things, and then from those 100 things, we can then pare down to what the eventual event looks like. So it's just giving us the flexibility to kind of choose on the fly how much we do or don't do. And so I think the 4 that I looked at on Monday, I got down to 2. I knocked 2 off basically because like they're really nice venues and the people are lovely. It's just that the locations are not great. There's no hotels nearby. There's no facilities or anything like that. There's a couple of cafes, but it's not really that good, especially if we end up doing anything into the evening. Like they're not great places to leave at night just because, you have to traverse suburbia to get to anything useful. So unfortunately, like they're really nice if you live in that city, but not so great if you're, traveling either, domestically if you're coming from another state in Australia, or if you're certainly if you're coming internationally, they're not great from that perspective. So got it down to 2, and one of them, whilst it was a beautiful facility, it's not really, I think, the right vibe for what a Laracon is in terms of, the kinds of things we come to expect from that venue. So got it down to 1 in that city, reviewed 3 more on Thursday in another city, and I'm mulling it over this weekend, but I think I've got my preferred. So I will have a venue, and I'll reach out to them for a quote and say, let's move ahead with this week, and hopefully have that kind of all finalized before I go on leave for Christmas next week. So that's all very exciting. It's nice to kind of get that out the road. Once the venue's kind of sorted and we lock that in, we pay our deposits, we get our dates that we want and all of that kind of stuff, it means that I don't really need to do too much until kind of February. So we'll announce the location and the dates in January, which gives people plenty of time to kind of plan and budget and figure out what they want to do. And then we won't launch CFP until, end of February, early March. I think I haven't quite figured it out yet, but those will be the kind of timelines. We'll try and get tickets on sale a little bit earlier next year as well, just to give people a bit more time to plan and budget. We'll certainly get the details out around that a bit earlier, just so that all of that stuff gets factored in. So, yeah, I think pretty close. I'll sit down and kind of figure out this weekend what we want to do and go from there. So that was kind of like Monday and Thursday were thrown out, which left me Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. We had our Christmas party. I didn't matter what I did with the lights. You probably can't see the panda eyes too much, but we were outside for our Christmas party yesterday, and so I got a little bit sun kissed, as it were. And so yeah, it didn't matter what I did with my lighting in here today. It all just ended up making me look a little bit pink. So that was, Monday, Thursday, and Friday were kind of a bit disrupted. So Tuesday and Wednesday. Oh, and then I got stuck on Monday. The weather here is very weird for summer at the moment. It's been rainy, it's been cold, it's been hot, and then it's been cold and rainy again. And then we had sort of thunderstorms when I left on Monday. The plane was about 10 minutes delayed leaving because the ground crew couldn't load the plane because there was a storm going over our heads at the time. So it was a bit nauseous going up, and then it was okay coming back down. But then because of the storm on the way back, it was supposed to be a day trip, flying in the morning, fly out in the night, and I got a text message at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon saying your flight's been cancelled. We have rebooked you for tomorrow morning. So fortunately, I had some friends there, and so I could, just stay there. I called up. I had a rental car, and they just extended that. I guess it's a 24-hour booking, and I'd only booked it for, you know, 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. until 7 p.m. So Didn't cost anything extra. And then staying with a mate made it easy that night, and then back here. So it was 4:30 a.m. starts 2 days in a row, which was unpleasant, especially because they were busy days as well. So, but work wise, two good milestones that I crossed. The first one being that we got all of the Snowflake stuff that I've been working on over the past few weeks finalized. All of the test suite passed, and I'll circle back to that in a sec. The second thing being that we got the Pest V2 upgrade done, and so that got our test suite. I think I said, I don't know if it was Push Pop or if it was on North Meet South this week, gone last week, that our test suite runtime got down from about 6.5 minutes to about 4 minutes 30, 4 minutes 20, somewhere around there, fairly consistently. The problem that we have though is that even in CI, like this is the full test suite start to finish, and it runs really quite quickly. 4 minutes doesn't sound fast, but we've got something like 8,000 tests and 50,000 assertions or something. So it's quite a big test suite, and so 4.5 minutes to run the whole thing in 10 parallel processes is good, but we chunk it up into, I think, 8 different steps, running different groups and things like that in GitHub Actions, just to kind of split it out to kind of get it into a reasonable time. And it still takes 30 minutes for the full test suite to run. So that's tedious. Pat O'Meara tweeted that there's like some options around using the local MySQL instance that's in the PHP container rather than using a MySQL service. So then you've got like the network traversal there, which may improve some things. So we're going to look at that in the new year, because I'm done now, so I'm not looking at that between now and new year. So that's out the way. Snowflakes, we got everything tested and working, and then we went to test the application flow in the front end, and that was when we discovered that JavaScript has a limitation of on numeric values of 53 bits, and our snowflakes are 64 bits. So it was, we're getting a number back, this long, and it lost the precision in the number. So the number ended up being kind of rounded, for lack of better terminology. And so we're trying to figure out for a while, where is it getting this value from? Is it guessing what the next ID, is it just going to the current value plus one? Is it doing some weird stuff? And it was not until our head of engineering kind of sent me a screenshot, which I posted on Twitter here, that if you let thing equal the number and then you spit that number back out, we saw where the problem was. So this is a problem that was encountered by Twitter, who created the Snowflake ID format back in 2014 or something like that, where they basically said, look, we'll give you the ID as a number and we'll give you the ID as a string, and then you choose what you want to do. So this basically meant going through the entire test suite that I had just got passing and the entire application, and casting. Fortunately, in all of the models, you can just tell Laravel, hey, this should be a string, and then sending that back and everything was a string. But then, of course, we had all the places where we were passing integers around, which we're expecting integers, all those type-ins had to be updated. All of the functions that we're using or expecting integers had to be updated to be strings. All of our contract tests and API schema definitions had to be updated to use strings and things like that. So it's still an integer format. It's just that we're sending it as a string so that the front end can, or JavaScript, not even our front end specifically, so that JavaScript can read and work with that number. So that's all done. Like, it's all passing. And then this was like 9 a.m., 9:30 yesterday that it was finalized. And then because we had our Christmas party, we were being bussed to this beautiful vineyard in the Adelaide Hills. It's just like, we're not shipping this now, and especially because then I'm on leave and then whatever. So I'm back to work on the 3rd of January, and the rest of the company is kind of not around again until the 15th. So that gives us a week and a bit to kind of roll this out into production, where none of our staff are using it, none of our customers really. Finance brokers, mortgage brokers typically take a month off over Christmas, so that'll give us some time to kind of roll it out, test it, make sure it's fine. If there's any issues, roll it back, fix them, and go from there. So by the time everyone's back on deck in the middle of January, we'll be good to go. So yeah, I mean, next week I'm on leave, so the kids are in daycare Monday and Tuesday. So Monday I've got a few bits and pieces. I've got going to the physio. I'm going to go see Wonka just by myself in the middle of the day because it's the only opportunity that I've got to do it. And Tuesday, my wife and I we're going to go have lunch together, which we haven't had an opportunity to do that for a little while. So yeah, we'll just go and do that, and then the kids will be home Wednesday, and we've got a bit of running around visiting my wife's family in the morning, and then going to visit my grandma in the afternoon, just so that we can see them before we go away. And then we're driving to my sister's, who lives like on the other side of the country. So it's a 2 and a bit day drive for us, and so that'll be fun. And then we'll be at my sister's place from the day before Christmas Eve Eve, until we'll be back here on New Year's Day. So we'll just drive. My theory being that like driving on New Year's means that there'll be less people on the road because they'll all be either at something or somewhere, or hungover from being at something or somewhere. So yeah, there's not much more. I'll probably, because I'll be away, so I'm probably not going to record these. There will be no this week or next week for me for the next couple of weeks. So that will be all. I guess signing off for 2023. I hope all of you have a safe, happy holiday period. I hope you get some time off with your friends, with your family, doing whatever it is that you do in this quiet time, and then hope everyone has a fantastic new year, and a a big and prosperous and exciting and happy 2024. So until then, uh, have a good one.